Welcome to Xtalk Podcast, a podcast about sex, relationships, porn, and much more. Join us each week as we explore topics in sex health, relationships, and sex work. Now, here's your host, sex and relationships advisor and pornography expert, Lianne Young.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Xtalk. I'm your host, Lianne Young, and I have the most amazing guest with me today. She's actually a lady. She's called Lady Wolfe, and she's a dominatrix. But this girl is absolutely so. To me, I know hers, and she's I find her just. I'm trying to think of that. She's kind of angelic. I see this beautiful Lady Wolfe as angelic. But don't just listen to me. I'm going to get her onto the show and we're going to talk to her in person. So let's welcome Lady Wolfe to the show.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Lianne.
How are you doing? You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing well, actually. I'm really quite getting into this lockdown situation.
Yeah, but when you say lockdown, I've got to ask myself what kind of lockdown, because when people have been saying, "Oh my God, I'm in lockdown," I'm like, I think of the dominant and submissive roles. I'm like, they're not in lockdown. They're not into fetish. It's my mind. I think my mind is built around sex.
Well, we may be we may be talking about a different type of lockdown, but even though the government has locked me down, that doesn't mean that I'm not in control of all my boys. So,
and this is what I want to know about.
And girls, actually.
So you have girl clients as well?
I do, yes.
See, tell the viewers and the listeners just a little bit more about Lady Wolfe, because they have to go and see you. I mean, you've got how many followers on social media?
I've almost got 20,000. It's been going down actually for some reason. I think people are beginning to get bored of me. I don't know.
I don't think they're bored of you. I think a lot of people are bored of social media because
I think they're probably just scared.
Oh well, right. That's it. You've got to now start and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am a London dominatrix. I mostly do face-to-face sessions. My specialities are corporal punishment, domination, humiliation, bondage, lots and lots of latex, lots and lots of leather. But it doesn't necessarily stop there. It's just, most of the things that I really, really enjoy doing kind of come under that category. And I'm established since, I think it's 2012. I don't know, I lose count. I lose count of these things.
So I'm looking at you and you look so angelic and you keep yourself in fantastic shape. You're smiling, you're happy, you're glowing. Yeah. And I'm loving the pink makeup, by the way.
That's the lighting.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know what you've done. Have you ever seen a movie? And I'm not sure. I think I watched it on Netflix and it was called Webcam.
Webcam? No, I haven't.
And it's about these webcam models, and one of them has this nutty fan who tracks her down and hacks into her computer and stuff. But your background just reminds me of the movie. I mean, it's great.
I think it's because I am a filmmaker as well, though. So like I do a lot of BDSM porn.
Really?
I do, yeah. And I don't do BDSM porn in the way that most people would see porn as. I never get my tits out. I never actually get naked, but it is, I suppose, classed as porn. And so over the years of being able to do this, I've kind of played around with cameras and lighting and sound. And it kind of becomes second nature to me. So if I have a Skype chat with a friend, I don't know, it's a bit of habit, I think, because I want to entertain the person I'm talking to. So
you've always entertained me, that's for sure. But
yay!
I just never ever thought I would see you around pink. That's apart from your hair and makeup.
Well, it's more of a purple. I'm kind of going for purple. I think it's I think it's your camera. I don't know.
Maybe, but the background's a bit... Oh, no, you are right. It's purple. It's my eyesight.
It's very purple.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than you. Our eyesight goes a little bit, and it's...
Oh.
My eyesight hasn't gone from masturbation or nothing. It's just age kicking in, I think. Although, actually, I could be lying. I could be
well,
wrong.
you know, I mean, what else can you do when you're locked down, you know?
I know, right? I mean, now...
I mean, I'm not speaking for myself at all.
Of course not. Now, your situation's rather unique, right? Because, you know, you're a dominatrix and you shoot
Yes.
BDSM porn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just for the listener or the viewer that really doesn't understand BDSM, do you want to just explain it a little bit for them?
So BDSM is bondage, domination, sadomasochism. There's a huge scope for this. There's a huge spectrum as to where somebody can fit in. So on one side you have the normal porn, hetero, homo, whatever, but that's just one-on-one sex and all the different types of positions. And then on the other side of the spectrum you've got BDSM, which is literally bondage, domination, sadomasochism. So that's fully clothed attire for me. And so, for instance, I am being sadist to one of my boys, hence I'm giving him corporal punishment, which is, I don't know, paddles or a cane or, you know, and then I can also dominate him by the things that I say. For instance, I tell him to get on his knees and worship my boots, you know, that kind of thing. And a lot of people actually really enjoy it.
Can you give me a couple of lines? Go on, tell me. Go on, please. I've never. Can you?
Oh, Lianne, look into my eyes. Tell me what you see.
I've seen a total different side to you. You're actually that's really good.
But it's just another part of me. I mean, you know me as this angelic, innocent, fun-loving creature.
Did I say innocent whatsoever?
Angelic.
I said angelic, but I can't remember saying innocent.
No, I don't think you did actually, did you? I don't think innocent was ever in this equation. I think I'm really trying to be innocent right now.
But you do. When you just told me to look into your eyes, it is there, isn't it? My gosh. And I'm just blown away because obviously I've never seen that before. So, you do the BDSM.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'll admit, I've been to Torture Garden and I've caned a few people before, and
you know, I heard all about that.
Oh gosh, I just get super excited when I'm in somewhere where everybody's being themselves, you know.
Yeah.
And I can just get a little bit carried away. You know,
as can most people. I mean, as a dominatrix in the industry as a professional, it's extremely hard to sometimes not get carried away because, you know, you have to then be risk aware.
Yeah.
But, you know, so many people do tell me that they're like, oh, I get carried away, and then I was just like, and then it was over, and it was like, oh,
yeah.
Why is it over? It's not fair.
Well, I can imagine. I mean, I was caning, and I was like, I'm not a dominatrix, but you know, maybe I've got it in me. I won't lie. I mean, I have worn latex, and I have beaten a few, and I have had a few submissive men, and
I think you definitely do have it in you. Yeah, knowing you for as long as I have. I think
does it count when I've dressed up an orthopedic surgeon in my corsets and
it? You know, a dom can be in their pajamas.
Really?
Yeah, with no makeup on, with their hair not even brushed, holding a cup of coffee, and they can still be a dom.
Because most people have a lot of people, well, I'm not saying most, but a lot of the people, or most of the people that haven't ever experienced it, do just have this picture of black or red latex, skin tight, and with a lady with a whip in her hand, high heels. Yeah.
But it's not just what you wear and how you look, it's how you present yourself. And this is kind of where I feel a little bit disappointed with a few people online, because being a photographer myself, I can see, and being a dom, I can see when somebody's just trying to pretend to be a dom. So they dress themselves up in all the leather, and they've got all this attire, and they've got a whip, and the first thing I see is them trying to prop someone, and I'm just like, oh no.
Don't do it, please.
Stop it. So yeah, it's a very difficult thing to be able to define somebody unless you were in this kind of lifestyle, and you have been for a while, and you're kind of empathic. Sorry, my words aren't working. Empathic. But yeah, if you want to be a dom, you have to be a dom in the core. To be able to be the dom, which is the reason why I said you've got it. You have that inside of you.
Yeah, but I giggle after. I mean,
But that's okay.
Is that okay? And I am.
Yeah, I often hit someone, and I go, "Hey,
yeah."
I giggle afterwards.
But I don't feel bad about doing it.
You shouldn't. You're what I like to call a fun dom.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely. Do you know what I done once? I have to confess, right? And I can confess to you.
Okay.
One time.
Confess your sins.
Confess my sins. Yep. To
but
ladies.
Don't be forgiven because you don't need forgiving.
Oh, great! That's even better. Do you know how many? Do you know how many things I've had to do to get myself out of the trouble that I got myself into? But no.
And this is why we're friends.
Yeah, this is why we're friends. See, I get excited chatting to you. So this one time, when I was living in Australia, and this guy was like, "Come on, then, show me your best. Dominate me." And I'm like, "Oh gosh." And don't get me wrong. I mean, I've got a porn background from many years ago. I mean, I'm not naive to anything, but I am like a super kid, right? I am terrible. So I went into the kitchen and thought, what can I use? Spatula, friggin' bread knife, I don't know. Anyway, so I got a tea towel and I wetted it, and then I wrung it, and then I was smacking him one.
Oh,
I know,
that was
right?
Really satisfying, was it?
I could see. And it is. I had these two sides to me.
You're talking to a sadist who's been locked down for the last 3-4 weeks, who hasn't been able to do this to people. This is my job, and I do it all of the time, and I really enjoy it. I haven't had this. I haven't been able to feed my sadist, and you're telling me all these stories. I'm getting all the tinglies.
Oh, brilliant! I love it. So, you are on lockdown, right? And this is what you do for a living. Yeah. And there's oh my God, I've just got to say, because it's just popped into my head. Can you imagine all your clients? I mean, I don't know what their backgrounds are or situations, but can you imagine being at home and you've got a woman, go and do the guttering, go and do the gardening, go and do, oh man. I mean, that's not being dominant, right?
No, it all depends on, it can be. It all depends really as to how the man reacts. If they're like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, I want to do the gardening, then yes, they're being dominated.
I don't think that's the case.
If the boys are like, oh, for fuck's sake, not again, that's being nagged.
Yeah, I think there could be a bit of the nagging more.
But the thing is, though, most women don't really realise the amount of power they really have over their men. Like, if they were to just say certain things in certain ways, they're like, okay, for instance, this is nagging. Oh, darling, please, will you just go and do the gardening or something?
Trimming the bush. I need that right now.
To be dominating, they use their body, they use their pauses in their voice, and then they go, darling, please, it would make me very happy for you to go and do the gardening. And while you're at it, go make me a sandwich. There's so much difference in it.
I know. I just looked at your whole thing change. That was mental. You turn into, you're like a chameleon of all different. It's quite extraordinary. So how are you coping with the lockdown though? I mean, your clients.
Yeah, so I have a lot of my regular, really, really good boys, and a lot of them have actually sent me an email and said, look, I understand the situation at the moment. I want to give you a deposit for the next time, date, whenever. We'll discuss it later, but I want to give you a deposit so that then, you have something to keep you going, which has actually been really, really nice. And the first time it happened, I actually broke down into tears because I hadn't realised exactly how much my boys really understand the situation and really understand what it is that I do for them as well. So, it's really nice. But with that as well, I've had to look at other avenues of work, obviously, because I can't then go to the session and get the rest of the money for the session to be able to then pay my bills. So I've been doing an awful lot of online domination at the moment. So I do webcamming. I'm not going to say one or the other company because I don't.
No, you don't have
there
to.
Isn't. There's no need for that. If anybody wants to find me on cam, they'll find me. So
yeah. Is that dominatrix cam or
dominatrix cam?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So explain the dominatrix webcam. How does it work?
A lot of people don't realise, as I was saying also, is that you can be a dom in your pajamas, and you can be a dom using all of the household items that you have. And what do the boys have there? They have household items too. So you pick a few household items that you know they're probably going to have. And this is at the very least. Like, some of my boys have all of their own gear. They have butt plugs, they have electric stuff, they have all sorts of stuff. So, but at the very, very least, you pick a few things that, kind of are household items, and then you play with them. You instruct them on how to dominate, how I would dominate them, but you instruct them to do it on your behalf because you're not there. So, I don't know, 5 spanks on each of your arse cheeks and show me.
Oh, so what? So they spank themselves, or they get their partner to spank them, or?
Yeah, I do couples domination. I do all sorts.
Oh wow! So they can still get it.
They can, but there is a very fine line between self-harm and online domination, and that is something that I really kind of want to emphasize, is the fact that if a dominatrix is not instructing you in a safe, sane environment, and you take it upon yourself to then spank yourself with something, that's...
Or, do you know what? My butt cheeks just squeezed. Is that really bad? I don't know.
Every time I have an update with one of my boys, I tell them to punch themselves in the nuts. It's so much fun.
Oh my... And they do it?
They do it.
Oh my
Because
God.
they know that it makes me happy.
And it's about... Because a lot of people don't understand the submissive and dominant. So do you have to have a willing submissive to be dominant?
Always. It's
right.
about power. It's about power exchange. And without that willingness, without that person giving you that permission... That's also the fine line between domination, sadist, and then on the other side of the line, psychopath.
Yeah, okay. I think I've met a couple of them.
Yeah, me too. But it's all about instruction and permission, and it is a power exchange. At the end of the day, the submissive or the slave or the masochist will always be in control. As much.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, because we as dominants are a fantasy fulfiller. We have the choice to play with someone. We have the choice to say no, but with our jobs especially, it is all about the permission. And they basically send me an email and they go, "These are the things that I'm really interested in. I would really love it if you could be my fantasy fulfiller," basically. And then I will decide whether or not I do that sort of thing. And then when they come in for the session or just before the online session, we'll have a consultation and I'll see where their head's at. And then we'll
so
proceed.
you like a...
Oh yeah.
It's like a health and safety check, we have them
every time.
To prevent. It's more about prevention and just making sure that they know what they're doing and how they're...
Yeah.
And
it's
what's
also about
happen.
being risk aware.
Yeah.
So I'm this professional leader that everybody turns, well, not everybody, but these boys turn to know that they are safe to be able to experience the things they want to experience. And some of these things are medically based. I'm not going to say I'm a medical practitioner, but I am medically trained in cross-contamination.
God, that's really handy right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so, like, when my delivery guy turns up and I'm standing there with gloves and hygiene, I'm just like, what? And he's like, okay. But yeah, it is handy. It's handy to know. But
your job sounds totally opposite to my old one, where, you know, if I had a delivery man turning up, I wouldn't be wearing gloves and something to spray. I'd be like dragging him in. You know, I know we're in lockdown and we can't. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I am sexually frustrated.
really, oh no.
Oh, absolutely. And I've got a house full of pleasure products that get sent to me. And I need that, you know, like you said, that personal.
Contact, yeah. It's what I've been missing. It's what I've been missing as well. I mean, like, on my personal side of things, my partner is actually 4,421 miles away. So I really I relate to what you're feeling right now. But also on a dom sense, like, that connection that I get from all of my clients.
Absolutely.
It's something that gets fed inside of me, similar to the sexual frustration, but it is slightly different. It's not sexual gratification for me, because, you know, they're my clients. It's almost like doctor-patient confidentiality style stuff. Yeah, I genuinely am getting withdrawal symptoms from my sessions. It's horrible.
Because it is. I mean that is a real trust thing as well. So, you know, they have, because when you have that relationship with somebody and trust is involved and you know, pleasure, then of course you guys will create some kind of bond. It's just absolutely natural that happens.
That's it.
And
I like the fact that they trust me to be able to take that control and be the responsible person to be able to safely take them through their fantasy. And, you know, like, I have a guy who wants to be mummified, and that involves layers upon layers upon layers of latex. So I help him get into his latex catsuit, then I wrap him in latex, put gloves on, put a hood on him, and then I put him in a body bag, and then I tie him up. And then, you know, it's...
Can he breathe?
Yes, he breathes.
You give him a little breathing hole or something.
So it's a latex mask with a hole in the nose and the eyes, and then there's a zipper thing that has holes in it. So he can still breathe, but it's a complete sensory overload for latex. Now, he wouldn't be able to get out of that. And all he wants me to do is sit around for 4 hours, for 5 hours, whatever, and just make sure that he doesn't suffocate.
And he pays you for that?
He pays me for that because it's something that he entrusts into me, because it is a life and death situation. It is something that you need to be trained in.
Hold on 1 second, stop right there, because I think I'm in the wrong job. I actually think I could do that.
I think you probably could do.
Yeah, we should actually put that in the diary for when we're off lockdown. I have to come and visit you and you have to train me.
Okay.
Because I think I'd be really good.
So it doesn't just stop there, though. It's like a lot of people come to me because I'm a bit of a sadist. Now, like I was saying, the difference between a sadist and a psychopath is a sadist will always ask for permission, and when enough is enough, they'll stop.
Right.
So, and this is because there's a lot of stigma around the word sadist.
There are, because, you know, as you know, I'm a sex and relationship counsellor, and some people say that he's a sociopath, he wants to try this, and I'm like, no, that's probably just a fantasy that he wants to try.
Yeah.
And
so if it's a fantasy that he would like to try, then it's just a case of discussing it and getting permission and, you know, finding out where the lines and boundaries are and working out a safe word. Now, so many people, oh my goodness, if I had a pound for every time somebody said, I want a session with no safe word, I would be a millionaire.
Really?
I really would. But I will never ever take a session without a safe word, because that is the difference between sadist and psychopath, between staying within the law and being outside of the law, being sensible and fucking idiot.
No, it's true though, because I'm just thinking of myself like now. Obviously, you know, in the industry that I cover the whole of the sex industry, And I interview people from all walks of life from the sex industry. And I guess that would be, I hear sometimes, when I'm interviewing an escort, they'll be like, oh, this other girl does bareback. So, and that's, I mean, that's just, you don't put yourself in danger.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the same without a swear word. That means you're crazy.
Yeah, you're absolutely fucking crazy. Now, I do have a lot of my boys who have been seeing me for a year, 2 years, 4 years, and we never discuss safe word because we've known each other for that long that I know that I can push them to that extent and not need to just keep reminding them of the safe word. They're smart enough and intelligent enough to just turn around and tell me and say, do you know what? I'm at my limit, but that's another thing that I've been told that I'm really good at is to judge someone's limit. Like most of my boys will be like, that was perfect, you pushed me right to the edge, you didn't push me over, etc., etc. So I'm actually quite proud of that a little bit.
That's really cool. Do you know what I've got to say? It just reminded me is that when I was in the adult industry and I'd done the first ever kind of adult version of Big Brother.
Yeah.
And it was in the year 2000. And I was meant to be working with this male performer called Brian Sherwood. And he was actually scared of me. He said, no,
really?
she terrifies me. I was like this, like this dominant British person, I think. And he absolutely was terrified of me. And I had to say to him, I'm fine, it's okay, I'll go easy on you.
Aww.
I know. I was like, what have I done? I mean, I was a little bit extreme. I mean, I'm not like that. I was like that on camera, but when I went home, I was completely different. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm rather angelic myself, actually, Lady Wolfe.
You're angelic, really?
In little ways.
Next time I come over, I'll bring the grinder for your horns.
Oh God, don't grinder, because do you know what? It's like people, especially women, do have no idea about what, some of their partners would be like, can you just instruct me what to do occasionally? Can you,
Well, I actually do give a lot of couples lessons. I do train couples with it.
See, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I probably know quite a few people because I get sent emails all the time, and I get a lot of people email me thinking that I'm gonna offer them something else rather than my counselling, and I've been offered men in nappies, men who want me to be their mummy and mother them, and I don't know, that just is a bit strange.
That is one thing I don't do. Simply for the fact if I wanted a baby, I probably would have had one, which I don't, because, disclaimer, I don't want kids.
Disclaimer number 2. No, 2. I don't want any more. I had mine, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't the most maternal person in the world. I went to work. Some of us are built for it, some of us are not. But
it is a thing, and it is a fetish, and it is something that a lot of men really like going through. And I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm just gonna say find the right person for that. And it will be a beautiful experience.
It wasn't me. Can I tell you a story about me?
Yeah.
Right. And you can tell me whether this was me being dominant or me just being cheeky, right?
It's probably a bit of both, to be honest.
It is a bit of both, but I'm sure the listeners and the viewers will probably think, oh my God, what a great... Actually, I could sit here and tell you stories all night. Anyway, so I was living with my ex-partner, and I'd gone away for the weekend to my parents. And I went back, and there was a condom wrapper under my bed. And I was like, okay, something's not right. And I could sense it, so I knew there was something not right. And I turned around to him, I goes, okay, what's this about? And he went, oh, while you were away, I messed around with one of your toys, and I put a condom on it, and I tried it in my bum. And I'm like, okay. And I went, that's fine. And then I kind of made out that I forgot about it. But then when I went to bed that night, I told him I was going to the bathroom, and I came out with my big toy with a condom on it. And I made him take it up his bum.
Ooh, yeah.
And I knew that he hadn't done it while I was away.
Yeah.
Now, was that being naughty, or was that being dominant?
If you really did know that he hadn't done it.
Well, I didn't kind of know it. It was more like he told me he had done it, so I thought, hey, he likes it. Let's have a go.
And did he? Did he enjoy it?
No, he squealed.
That's being dominant, I think. You're just making him do something he doesn't want to do. But then also that's being cheeky as well, because if he didn't really want it. Okay. But then again, I suppose he probably would have said it if he didn't really want it.
Yeah, well, it was either that or admit to me that he'd been used a condom with somebody that weekend.
Either that, or he just really liked being humiliated by doing something that he didn't like doing.
No, that's a good thinking point. But I've always thought about it, and whenever I tell anybody, I normally just cover my mouth because I'm just feel so bad, and then I'm like,
don't feel bad.
I know I've got this thing about me that I.
At the end of the day, right? There's one. He cheated on you, and he was taking it out the bum as a guilt plea, right?
Yeah.
2, he didn't cheat on you. He took it up the bum because he liked being humiliated.
Ah, okay. You made me feel better already. Like this, I think it might have been trauma with me for a while, but
no, I think you're fine.
Yeah, I'm totally fine. And there's other situations, but they're for other shows. But I've told you about the tea bag and the sex toy, so that's quite. That's no. I am quite.
You told me a lot, but you seem to have missed that one out.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd be here all night actually if I.
I think we could. Yeah.
I would be here all night. So tell me a little bit. I mean, how are you going to go for? How are you going to survive on the lockdown? What are your plans?
Well, going forwards, they're having this supplement thing from the government in mid-May.
Do you qualify for that?
Yes.
As a dominatrix?
Yes. I pay tax.
Yeah.
So I qualify.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And have you been one of those honest people that are self-employed? Because a lot of people are screaming at the moment going, oh my God, I wish I'd declared everything, or, I don't know how financial being a dominatrix is or anything.
Honestly, I don't know how to not declare everything because it goes all through, because I've got a little QuickBooks thing on my phone that's connected to my bank.
Does it all?
And I just swipe left and right as personal and business. I don't know how to not be.
No, you are a very honest person. You're not. I know that anyway,
Yeah,
but
I mean, my last tax bill really fucking showed that as well. So I was just like, fuck.
Yeah, but now I bet you're glad now that you've done it all really professionally and paid all that tax.
I am, yeah, and I've got an accountant as well, a chartered accountant, to basically take me through everything as well. Like previous years, I hadn't earned massive amounts of money, and even last year I didn't really earn that much money.
Hold on. I know that. I know the reason as well. Because you've been travelling too much.
Yeah, but I like it.
Yeah, the last thing Luna, was you'd gone to a event over in Miami?
Yeah.
Fort
That was last May,
That was May.
Yeah.
And
I've been to and from since.
Yeah, but you hardly came back.
Yeah, I know.
And
it's because I met my partner over there, so.
So
Yeah.
So you spend most of your time there, okay, and hence why you're doing online stuff as well, is because you're probably used to it.
Yeah.
So that really helps as well. That's good. I bet you can't wait for this lockdown to be over.
I can't wait for this lockdown to be over. I'm going to go straight to the airport.
Do you know what? So am I. I've got to get
let's do it.
I've got to get to Los Angeles. I'm like, oh my God, can we not charter our own plane and go?
Oh, geez, that would be lovely.
And we'll get one of your slaves to pay for it.
Oh, that would be even better. That would be so nice.
Do they do that though? Can you get them to pay for anything?
It's difficult because you have to create a relationship with this person, and you have to be really careful that you don't drain them completely of funds, because I'm kind of into Findom because I really like receiving fun things in the post and whatnot, but I'm not into Findom in the fact that I want to drain.
What's Findom?
Financial domination.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And there are a lot of teenage girls online on Twitter, and this is not PC. I'm probably going to get slated for saying this, but I do believe that Findom, in a respect of only online domination, and draining people they don't know is a lot like begging.
Yeah, I don't like. No.
There's no real art to it. They're just like, oh yeah, totally. Just look at my tips now. You just need to pay me all your money, you know.
Oh, do that again. That was brilliant. No.
Do you like it, Lianne? Do you like it? Do you like it like that? Do you? Oh, give me all your money. Sorry.
Oh my God, you are great, because you do a bit of acting, don't you?
I do, yes.
Like now, that was fantastic. Like you need to be in EastEnders or something.
Oh, goodness me, I don't know about that. I was thinking maybe the next Tomb Raider, but never mind.
I'm just thinking of the London.
I'm just thinking too high on my score here.
Oh no, you're not at all. I mean, you reach for the stars, darling.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? And you know, if you don't reach for the stars, then what are you going to reach for?
Absolutely. I mean, what would your advice be to somebody now who's in lockdown, maybe thinking about how they're going to earn extra money and are thinking about going into being dominant?
I would say do your research. I would say do your research to the point where you can look through all the current DOMs that are actually around. Make sure you don't pick a name that somebody has already taken, because that's a big thing in the industry. No professional DOMs that have been around for 25 years will take anybody seriously if they steal their name. The best thing you can do is make friends, because it really is a sisterhood. All of us DOMs are looking out for each other, and we're looking after each other. If you piss one of them off, then it's likely you piss the rest off. If you're really, really, really wanting to be a DOM, then you have to really take it seriously. Contact a couple of DOMs, say, hey, I've been thinking about this for a while. I know it's really bad timing because of the lockdown, but I was wondering maybe if you could mentor me online. That's another thing. You're probably going to expect to pay some money for that, because obviously tutoring is not cheap. But then do your research. There are a couple of really good books out there. Annie Onomis wrote The History and Arts of the Dominatrix. Perfect place to start. That's mostly what I would say.
You have to send me the link over, because
absolutely
I just want to read up on what part of me is like.
So the arts and history of dominatrix actually goes right back to the Mesopotamian times, and it explains like where dominant women came about in history.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
As well as everything else. It's basically our entire history of the dominatrix.
Oh my God, that sounds fantastic.
It's beautiful. And I've met Annie. She's great.
Oh, you have to send me the link so that I can have it.
I will, yeah, I will.
Okay, so before we go, tell the listeners and the viewers where they can find you.
So you guys and gals, because I don't discriminate, can find me at www.queenofwolves.com, or you can find me on Twitter. It's at Queen of Wolves, but the O is a 0.
I get it. And they could just probably Google Lady Wolfe.
I think Queen of Wolves Dominatrix is probably...
Oh, Queen of Wolves, because you're called Lady Wolfe. And
yes.
just quickly before we go, explain why you're called Lady Wolfe.
So I actually own land in Scotland. It's about that big.
Do you need any more property and land in that?
No. I do have an official title, so I am a lady.
Oh, there you go. You are, anyway, you're a pure lady woman, and you are a really intelligent wolf.
Aw, shush. You're making me blush.
I don't think that's possible. Lady Wolfe, thank you so much for joining us, and for the listeners and the viewers out there, please go visit Queen of Wolves. And seriously, I mean, she's a beautiful lady, very professional at her job, and the biggest sweetheart I know.
Aww.
You are. Thank you so much for joining us here at Xtalk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Xtalk Podcast with Lianne Young. Make sure to visit our website, skyhawkafterdark.com, where you can subscribe to our show in iTunes, Google Podcast, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too.